We spend so much of our lives making plans for a person we've never even met. A total stranger who's going to inherit everything, our assets, our debts, and all of our decisions. And that stranger, well, that's you in the future.
I mean, have you ever looked back on a decision you once thought was absolutely genius and just physically cringe?
Yeah, of course you have. We all do. That haircut, that job, that relationship, we were so certain at the time. So what on earth happened?
Well, here's the fascinating thing. This isn't some personal failing. It's a fundamental feature of being human. As Harvard psychologist Daniel Gilbert puts it so perfectly, our priorities, our desires, our very identities are always in flux. The person you are right now, they're just a temporary draft.
To really get our heads around this, let's use a powerful analogy. Think about the big decisions we make, as if they're permanent tattoos we're getting today.
This says it all, doesn't it? The tattoo a teenager thought was their ultimate form of self-expression becomes a huge, embarrassing mistake for their 30-year-old self. Now, this isn't about ink. It's a perfect metaphor for a deep psychological glitch that infects our biggest life choices. You think money is a spreadsheet game. It's not. It's a battle against that stranger in your future. And today, we're going to give you the strategy to win.
So what are your financial tattoos? Well, those 30-year career paths, the 30-year mortgages, those super rigid retirement plans that you lock in today. All of it based on the incredibly dangerous assumption that your future self is going to want the exact same things you want right now.
And this really gets to the heart of the conflict, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the spreadsheet self, the logical planner inside you who thinks life is just a math problem to be solved. But on the other side, you've got the human self, the messy, emotional, evolving person who actually has to live with the consequences of that plan.
Just think about that for a second. Would you let a total stranger pick your career, your partner, your house? Of course not. But you already did. That stranger was you 10 years ago. You are letting a person who doesn't even exist anymore dictate the terms of your life today. That's the cage. So the real question is, why do we keep handing them the key?
Well, the reason is a predictable bug in our mental software. It's a cognitive bias that gets pretty much everyone, whether you're 18 or 80.
It's called the end of history illusion. And here's how it works. We look back and we see a massive amount of personal growth and change. We completely recognize we are not the same person we were a decade ago. But then we look forward and we foolishly assume, okay, that's it. I'm done. I've finally become the person I was always meant to be.
This is exactly how our brain sees time. The past, it's a winding, unpredictable road of discovery. But the future? Oh, we imagine it's just a straight, predictable line extending from who we are right now. This illusion is the root cause of why so many rigid, long-term financial plans end up failing and lead to massive, massive regret.
And believe me, when we ignore this illusion, the consequences are enormous. We end up locking ourselves into these extreme plans that our future self will absolutely despise. We usually see two common ways this goes wrong. First, there's the grind life. Working 80-hour weeks in your 20s and 30s to get rich, only to wake up in your 40s and realize that what you truly value is time, not more money. Then there's the austere life, living on practically nothing, assuming you'll always be happy with simplicity, only to discover later that you want to have a family or pursue a dream that requires capital you never bothered to save.
Here's the psychological trap. Humans adapt to anything. The initial thrill of a huge salary or the moral purity of a minimalist life, it fades. But the costs, the lost youth, the missed opportunities, those become permanent, painful regrets for the stranger you're going to become. So how do you break the cycle? Well, I'm going to show you the mental model that Nobel laureates use to escape this very trap in just a moment.
The only way to escape this is to start planning for a future where we know our desires will change. This means we have to consciously override our flawed mental software and, finally, liberate our future self. Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman has the perfect mental model for this. Sunk costs are the chains that bind you to your past decisions. It's the career you stick with because you spent a fortune on the degree. It's that bad investment you hold on to because you've already lost so much. Kahneman's power is his willingness to abandon a past decision without a second thought, because he knows it was made by a different person, his past self. So this leads to two incredibly powerful mental models for you to use. First, embrace moderation as a superpower. Seriously, balance isn't a weak compromise. It's a strategy for endurance. Moderate work, moderate saving, moderate fun. This creates a flexible plan that can actually survive your own evolution. And second, practice ruthless goal abandonment. That 5-year plan from 2 years ago, it was written by a stranger. If it no longer serves the person you are today, you have to be willing to scrap it.
And this brings us to the most crucial point of all. We need to shift our entire goal. Financial planning is not about squeezing every last drop of return from a spreadsheet. It's about creating a life that gives you peace of mind, flexibility, and the ability to endure. It's about being sleep-at-night optimized, decade after decade as you continue to change.
So, I want you to take a hard look at your life right now. Which commitments, which plans are you holding on to simply because a younger, different version of you set them in motion? Which financial tattoos do you think your future self might come to regret? Recognizing that stranger who's calling the shots today, that is the first step to liberating the person you are going to become.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.